Mariners win 1-0. They improve to 79-61 on the season. They take the first of the 4-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk about how it happened. It's going to be a long one. Mike Ford singled home Eugenio Suarez after Suarez doubled in the second inning. And then a lot happened, but none of it had to do with scoring. Before we get into the negatives and the positives and all that stuff, let's thank the good people of Simply Seattle for sponsoring the show. And folks, if you're a Seattle sports fan and you haven't checked out Simply Seattle, what are you doing? Because they not only have the best in Mariner stuff, like this beautiful hat, they've got great Sonic stuff. They have great Kraken stuff. They have great Seahawks stuff. They have great Seattle Storm stuff, Seattle Sounder stuff. Anything Seattle sports related, Huskies and Cougars as well, you're going to find it there. And you're going to find it in all sorts of different selections. There's stuff that's a little brighter. There's stuff that's a little more conservative. No matter what you're looking for, you can find it at Simply Seattle. I say it every video, but I cannot recommend them enough. And once you find what you want to buy, use code MOLLYWOP15 because that's going to save you 15% off your order. That's MOLLYWHOP15. The link will be in the description to the site, and also you can just copy and paste that code at checkout. It's awesome, and we really appreciate the support from Simply Seattle sponsoring the show. And by we, I mean me, and you guys too. I don't know if I can do this. Like, I really don't know how I can do this. The heart rate that I had in the 9th inning tonight was unhealthy. Just unhealthy. I guarantee it. So last year was like, kind of similar. Postseason, obviously, that was just a whole different level. But you kind of knew what was going on with the Mariners at this point last year, right? They were going to the postseason. A lot of people were nervous about it because, they hadn't been in so long, and I get that. But with Baltimore not really trying and the Mariners building a pretty substantive lead, is that a word? I don't care. You knew the Mariners were making the postseason. The question was, what seed were they going to be? Were they going to be the third wild card? Were they going to be the second wild card? Was there any possible way that they could catch and get that first? That was the only thing they were playing for. Division was long gone. So there was, stress. And, I'll never forget the moment of being at that game where they clinch. But it was a borderline foregone conclusion at this point that they were going to make the postseason. Now, I still think it's very, very, very likely that the Mariners are going to play postseason baseball, but there's still so much to play for, including that division. And with the win now, you are now just a half game back. And don't forget, you're a half game back, so you're only 1 win back, and you have the tiebreaker with Houston. You have the tiebreaker. So this is a favorable thing, and this is why this is such a big win. Let's just get the negative out of the way. There's just one. The offense was poo-poo tonight. I'm sorry for being immature. The offense was absolute poo-poo doo-doo. They were awful tonight. Outside of a Suarez double and a single by Mike Ford with the infield drawn in, they were awful. I'll give some credit to Zach Littell, who pitched one of the best games I've seen him pitch. But they were trash. They didn't hit the ball hard. They didn't really work counts all that much. It was a bad offensive effort. One of the worst I think they've had all year. Only one player ends up reaching twice, and that's Teoscar. And on a night where I want to talk a lot about positives, I'm just going to get this out of the way. You have to bench Josh Rojas for what he did tonight. And you might need to bench him for a couple of games. Because to have the mistakes that Josh Rojas made in this big a game, it's not great to make mistakes in any game, right? And, all of these games matter. Every win counts. Every loss counts. But to have the mental errors Josh Rojas made tonight in the situations that he did is inexcusable. And for those of you who missed it, first of all, runners on first and second, one of your few scoring opportunities. JP Crawford pops up. It might have gone 30 feet, give or take. It was in foul territory, and somehow, some way, Josh Rojas ends up being picked off on that play. And I don't know if it's because he took too aggressive of a lead. I don't know if it's because he thought there were 2 outs. I don't care. It can't happen. And then, 7th inning, 2 outs. Isaiah Campbell should be getting out of this thing. Ground ball, and Rojas just flat lollygags it. I don't want to hear a word about hops. I don't want to hear a word about anything. Sped up on him. I don't care. You have to at least knock that ball down. And thank goodness it didn't cost them today. But Josh Rojas needs to take a seat. That can't happen. That cannot happen. And again, thank goodness ends up not mattering. And you know why it doesn't matter? Because Luis Castillo was phenomenal tonight. And it was one of my favorite starts to watch of his because Castillo had no clue where anything was going early on. Zero. He had to rely on stuff and guts. He couldn't place the ball where he wanted it to. He ended up walking 4 in this game, and he fell behind a lot. But to say he got big outs when it mattered, whew, that's why you trade for Luis Castillo. That's why this guy has a real chance to take home a Cy Young Award, or at least finish very high in the voting. That's why you go get him. Phenomenal effort tonight. And I mean effort. I've talked about this a bunch in this video. When you hear someone say that a pitcher battled, what they really usually mean is that he just wasn't very good. But this is not the case for Castillo. He battled. There were so many situations where the Rays could have gotten a couple of runs. But Castillo made the clutch pitch over and over and over again. It's just too bad he wasn't a little more efficient because you're talking about a guy who may have given you 7 or 8 scoreless innings. By the way, he is now, I believe, the only starter in baseball who has gone at least 5 innings in every start. He's phenomenal. That's a trade. Noelvi Marte can end up being he would have to be like a top 15 player in baseball for me to ever truly regret this trade. And that's not going to happen. He's a good player, but that's not going to happen. Or Luis Castillo would just have to be 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. And that's not going to happen either. What an outstanding and gutty effort from your ace in a massive baseball game. And there's no denying, nobody can say that Luis Castillo can't pitch in big games. You saw what he did in game 1 against Toronto. You saw what he did in game 2 outside of a Yordan Alvarez being an absolute freak of nature, hitting that opposite field home run. You saw what he did in this one. And this was, in my personal opinion, the biggest regular season Mariner game in quite some time. And Luis Castillo shoved. But he's not the only one. Isaiah Campbell. Holy moly. That was impressive. That sweeper today was nasty. That's the best I've seen him pitch by far. The only base runner he allows is the Rojas error. And he threw some sweepers today, folks, that just made people look stupid. Like they had never played the game before. Real dumb stuff. But on a good plane this time. It was nasty. Matt Brash was excellent. And Andre Munoz does give up the walk. But then you saw that stuff. You're not going to see a ton of clean innings from Andre Munoz right now. He just doesn't have the command. And I would like to, he hits the first batter he faces. And I have to be honest, I was thinking about talking about this, and I still don't love it. So let's just talk about it. I didn't love going to Munoz tonight. And it's not because I don't think he is a pitcher who can get the job done. It's because this was appearing in back-to-back-to-back games. And you can say, but Chris, he only threw 7 pitches in that first game. That's fine. But I don't think people understand how hard it is to get hot for a reliever. Because you have to be ready to go at maximum effort. Have to. There is no there's no cooling period. There's no getting feel for your stuff. You just got to go. And so you have to go hard. So I kind of thought they should have either gone to Topa or one of the, or maybe even let Brash finish the inning, finish another inning, and then you give him a couple of days off. I didn't love that. But credit to Munoz, especially that last pitch. That was the slider we're looking for, folks. And then challenging hitters too with that heater. Good for you, Andre Munoz. You're so vital to the success of this team. And it would be I would be lachrymose. I don't think that's actually a word. I think I heard Michael Scott say that once. If I didn't mention the defensive play of the year, and I am saying it right now, I've seen JP Crawford make a couple of great plays. I've seen Julio make some great catches. The defensive play of 2023 so far is Cal Raleigh throwing an absolute bullet to get that runner. Because Munoz hits the batter. Batter takes off on, I believe it was a 3-2 pitch, and Munoz gets the strikeout. No, I'm sorry. That's rewind. That's rewind hands, baby. The batter does steal a base on the Munoz stolen base, or on the Munoz strikeout. But before that, Rayleigh takes off. And he gets a decent jump. But Cal Raleigh throws an absolute dart to second base to get him. You could not make a more perfect throw. What a play. What a play. And it may have been the difference in the game. Because if you're talking about first and second, nobody out, with Munoz scuffling, at least early in that outing, who knows? But Big Dumper came up clutch again. Even when he doesn't come up clutch with the bat, he finds a way to make you better. He's awesome. I want him to be a Mariner forever. And if he doesn't want to be a Mariner forever, okay. I will be disappointed. But I want him here forever. I want to see, and this is, we're getting ahead of ourselves, folks. I want to see that number hanging in the rafters someday. If you can retire, now they didn't retire Dan Wilson's number, they put him in the team Hall of Fame. But if he can be a team Hall of Famer, there's no reason that Big Dumper can't. He is a special player that we don't talk enough about. Oh, man, you needed this one. And let's just be honest here. A loss would have been devastating. To have your ace pitch like that, to battle like that, and to blow that game would have been catastrophic, at least for me. But they don't. Munoz gets the job done. On a day where your offense just sucks out loud. That's huge. That is huge. Oh. So, I don't know if Tampa Bay is named a starter for tomorrow yet. But I do know it's George Kirby for the Seattle Mariners. Thank goodness George Kirby isn't starting for the Tampa Bay Rays. Great chance to go up 2-0. Great chance to take a 2-0 and guarantee the split and then dream bigger. Dream bigger. I'm just watching some replays of some Castillo right now. He was He had that dog in him. Oh, and just as I'm watching this too right now, that catch by Canzone. Oh, that was massive. I thought that ball was gone off the bat. And I was thinking, crap, because they're not going to get in a run today. How is this going to work? But it not only came up short, but Canzone makes a terrific catch. You have seen there are some issues tracking the baseball for Dominic Canzone, but I've been very impressed with his effort. Very impressed. A couple of people asked me on Twitter about some minor league stuff. I'm going to be doing some updates on Thursday, kind of go over the prospects and like what I've heard, maybe do an updated like top 5 or something like that. But a lot of people have been asking me about Ryan Bliss. It's great to see that he's performing. I really like Ryan Bliss. He is the reason why, while I hate the timing of that trade, I don't hate that trade in terms of value, because I think Ryan Bliss has a chance to be an excellent starting second baseman. I don't think you're calling him up this year. It's a little tempting, just knowing how Rojas has played. I thought Rojas looked really good not that long ago, but he is scuffled, and his effort tonight was inexcusable. Rooting for you to bounce back, kid. But if I were Scott Service, you're sitting. You are sitting for sure. What a game. What a game. I'm just talking in circles at this point. Taj Bradley, by the way, tomorrow for Tampa Bay. We'll see. We'll see. I like Kirby. Kirby's due for a really good start. He has not looked the part lately, and I just trust him. I trust him as much as any person can trust a second-year pitcher. Please hit like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Please check out all the links below. Sportstopia went live today. I have an article actually on Chiefs Lions, which I'm excited for the NFL to be back for sure. And I'm excited to get to write about it. I've written about a lot of sports, but this is the first time that I've gotten to write about the NFL, and I'm excited about that. You can follow me on that website at Crawford_M. You can follow me on that website at Crawford_MILB. What a game. What